Are you alright? How are you feeling? Huh?
Not what?
There's a bomb inside it, but it's not live. What is it? What's it made from?
Pressure cooker.
A pressure cooker. And what's in it?
So it's not live. Gunpowder.
There's gunpowder in a pressure cooker. So it's pressure cooker with gunpowder inside it.
This is what?
It's a pressure cooker that's filled with gunpowder, apparently.
All because he couldn't be a nurse. You've just witnessed a section of the arrest of the 20th of January 2023 of 26-year-old married father of two, Mohammed Farooq from Leeds, Yorkshire, North England, after he turned himself over to the police on changing his mind about blowing up St James's Hospital in Leeds because he hated his life, especially the fact that he had, several months before, failed to qualify as a nurse. Now viewer, if I've got you hooked on the story so far, do subscribe, give the video a like, drop a comment when you're ready and donate. Hit the thanks button below, I'll appreciate you. In the early hours of Friday the 20th of January 2023, Farooq was arrested outside the Ghetto wing of St James's Hospital in Leeds. He knew the hospital well and had been a clinical support worker there. He had with him an improvised explosive device, a bomb. He had created it from a pressure cooker, especially purchased for the purpose, and nearly 10 kilograms of explosive, which he'd extracted from £600 worth of fireworks. He'd been carrying it around in his car from mid-December of the previous year. He was also in possession of an imitation firearm, which he'd painted black to make it look more realistic. In the same bag as the bomb, he had a knife and black tape. From 2020 to 2022, he became radicalized, and that was actually something that he did all by himself. He turned himself into a supporter of Islamist extremism. He was disillusioned in his own life, both personally and professionally, after failing to achieve the necessary standard of work to become a nurse. He executed a plan of harassment of his colleagues at the hospital, and eventually he decided to commit acts of terrorism in this country by using explosives to cause death and or serious injury. In the 2 years leading up to the autumn of 2022, he variously engaged in researching topics such as violent jihad against unbelievers, the caliphate, primary explosives, improvised munitions, how to convert blank firing guns, Al-Qaeda, how to make anthrax, chemical nerve agents including sarin, an extremely toxic compound, and poisons, martyrdom, and the Finsbury Park mosque attack. Viewing anti-West propaganda videos, including from Islamic State and the hate preacher Anwar al-Awlaki, inciting violence against America. Downloading a munitions handbook and the anarchist cookbook. Trying to cover his tracks by downloading a VPN and the TOR network, which enables browsing of the dark web. He also searched for military-grade encryption software. Purchasing an imitation firearm as well as 2 gun holsters and blank firing ammunition, painting the gun to make it look more realistic, acquiring instructions for the preparation of an improvised explosive device, IED, from the Inspire magazine produced by Al-Qaeda and other places on the internet, researching fireworks shops in Leeds and purchasing a large metal pressure cooker, obtaining the ingredients of black powder explosive. From September 2022, he spent time off sick after being challenged about his misconduct towards colleagues, and he last worked at St James's Hospital before Christmas 2022. After that, until his arrest on the 20th of January 2023, he was deceiving his family, telling them he was working while in fact just not turning up at work. In November 2022, he downloaded a 62-page document written by Al-Qaeda's chief intelligence officer, which has the title Safety and Security Guidelines for Lone Wolf Mujahideen. He began to search for the Menwith Hill Royal Air Force Base near Harrogate, which provides support for UK and USA military. He then accessed a range of material, including TikTok videos that mention the base and referred to it being used by the United States for operations against Islamists in the Middle East, including an article stating that Islamic State had named RAF Menwith Hill as one of its targets for attack. He then made searches using the term ISIS Lone Wolf hit list. By December, he'd assembled all the components for the IED and built it following the instructions in the AQ Inspire magazine article, How to Make a Bomb in the Kitchen of Your Mum. On the 18th of December, he carried out 24 searches about the RAF base, including for the B6451, which runs alongside it. On Christmas Eve, he wrote a note on his phone which reads like a suicide martyrdom letter. In it, he said that one thing he wanted was to die with honour and courage. He referred to suffering in the Muslim world, many of his brothers, as he called them, being massacred, and his sisters, again as he called them, being held captive, and that it was time to stand up and fight back. His first known trip to Menwith Hill was on the 10th of January 2023. It's a highly secure location with a protective wire wall and not easily accessible. He drove around it and around the area for about 4 hours from 9 a.m. The second trip was late at night on the 18th of January, and he spent nearly 2 hours in the area, leaving at around 1:20 a.m. on the following day. Late at night on the 19th of January, he went to St James's Hospital despite having called in to say that he was sick and would not be attending for the 7:30 a.m. shift. Near the hospital, he downloaded a voice changer app and attempted to record a bomb warning. In each message recovered from his telephone, he said there was a bomb or a pressure cooker bomb on the ward and everyone should be evacuated. What was in his mind, of course, wasn't to save lives, but to attack and murder those being evacuated with the IED and knives that he had with him when he arrived shortly after recording the messages. He didn't send the audio messages, but at 11:45 p.m, he sent a text to a nurse colleague who worked on the same ward as him, J28, which said, quote, "I have placed a pressure cooker bomb on J28. It will detonate in 1 hour. Let's see how many lives you will save," unquote. He then sat in the hospital car park in his car with the bomb and the knives waiting for the evacuation to begin. Fortunately, the colleague didn't see the message for over an hour. There was no immediate evacuation and he wasn't able to achieve the movement of large numbers of vulnerable patients and staff out of the hospital. When evacuation did occur, it was contained within the hospital. At about 1:45 a.m, he went into the hospital, not toward J28, but to the Gledhow wing, which houses other wards and the maternity services. He spent about 12 minutes inside. When he left the wing, a patient who was outside noticed him and began a conversation with him. Farooq was standing with the bomb in a black holdall, looking distressed. The name of the man who just randomly started talking to Farooq is Mr. Nathan Newby, and apparently his evidence was amongst the most remarkable that the court where Farooq was sentenced had ever heard. And it was that very conversation that Mr. Newby started making with Farooq that led Farooq to tell Mr. Newby about his intention to kill people at the hospital, and he showed Mr. Newby the bomb in his bag, and he also showed him the imitation firearm that he had in his jacket. He explained the significant blast radius that the IED would have. He said he was going to walk through the main doors to the wing, past the lifts to the canteen, where he would wait for all the staff to come and then detonate the bomb when the canteen was full of nurses and walk out. All the while that Farooq ranted about the hospital staff, Mr. Newby remained fully calm, and Farooq himself admitted that it was Mr. Newby's calm and polite conversation with him that talked him out of doing what he had planned to do, especially when Mr. Newby remarked that he, Farooq, should consider the effect of his planned actions on his own children. At 4:21 a.m, Farooq told Mr. Newby to call 999 and said that he should do so before he changed his mind. And Mr. Newby was very happy to do so, and he actually used Farooq's phone to do so. And he told the police that he was with someone who was very upset and feeling like killing everyone. Not long after that, Farooq was arrested by armed police. Subsequent searches revealed that although Farooq had been living with his parents, his wife and his 2 children, during this period he was spending a lot of time alone in his car. This lifestyle was coming to a necessary end because the lease had expired, and by January the car company was seeking to repossess it. As such, his deception about going to work would most likely have been discovered. The pressure cooker bomb was examined by an expert and it was viable. Farooq had put nearly 10 kilograms of low explosive mix removed from fireworks inside it, with a length of fuse running through one of the pressure valves to a secondary charge made from a bundle of fuses. A match was taped to the cooker. When detonated, the device would have caused a significant explosion, with metal fragments being ejected indiscriminately at high speed, with the potential to cause death to those in proximity. He'd gone to considerable effort to prepare the IED in line with the instructions in the Illustrated Inspire magazine article, experimenting with different constituent parts. Several hundred firework tubes were required and each had to be emptied into the pressure cooker at a risk to Farooq himself, especially as it accumulated. He had persisted until the gunpowder almost filled the pressure cooker and could easily have been ignited by a match travelling along the fuse. The expert evidence was that because fuses burn at different times, it's possible that when ignited, the device could have exploded before Farooq himself would have been able to make his escape. In March 2025, Farooq, the stupid, twisted fucker, got 37 years. I think you'll agree with me, on the other hand, when I say that Mr. Nathan Newby deserves a medal. If this video has gripped you, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.